Hi there, and welcome once again to Friday Focus, where we do not focus on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Today, Friday Focus continues its look at the hope of Christmas, the joy of Christmas, and today we're looking at the gift of Christmas from John 3:16, 2 Corinthians 9:15, and Luke 2, verses 1 through 7. There's something special about giving a gift that matters. Not the expensive kind, but the thoughtful kind. One that says, I know you, I see you, I love you. Not everyone we'd like to give, every kind of gift, is affordable. There are times when homemade gifts are all we can provide. Perhaps that's a better gift. Instead of buying a gift generated through someone else's thoughts and efforts, we come up with something of ourselves to give away. Do the best gifts come from the heart and not the store? Well, maybe that's what Christmas is really about, the giving of ourselves. Stripping away the glitz of the season and finding that it's not so much about what we wrap and put under the tree, but more about what God wrapped and placed in a manger. What's the greatest gift ever given? Well, here's what the Apostle John had to say. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. God sent his Son into the world not to judge the world, but to save the world through him. John 3:16 and 17. If you've ever wondered what love looks like, that's it. God gave his gift wrapped in strips of cloth and delivered, not in a box, but in a stone feeding trough. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Not because we earned it, but because we needed it. When Jesus was born, humanly speaking, it didn't look like a very grand moment. There was no royal announcement, no red carpet, no palace celebration. Just an animal's home, a young couple, and that stone feeding trough. Yet heaven looked down and said, that's the greatest gift the world will ever receive. In his letter to the Corinthian church in 2 Corinthians 9:15, Paul referred to it as the indescribable gift. One might say the gift that's too wonderful for words. How else do you describe a love so big that it wrapped itself in human skin to reach us? It's the gift that keeps on giving. The beauty of God's gift is that it never runs out. It doesn't wear out. It doesn't go out of style or lose its shine when the season ends. Think about it. Everything else we unwrap eventually fades. Toys will break, clothes wear out, gadgets become outdated, money gets spent. But Jesus, he's the gift that keeps on giving. He gives peace when our hearts are restless. He gives forgiveness when we've fallen short. He gives presence when we feel alone. And he gives strength when we have none left. Whenever we come to him, whether in prayer, worship, or surrender, we find something new. His love never stops giving. But it's up to us to receive the gift. That's the thing about gifts. They don't do you any good unless you actually receive and accept them. Imagine someone handing you a beautifully wrapped present, and you merely nod politely and then set it aside, never ever to open it. You'd never experience what's inside. That's what happens when people hear about Jesus, but never invite him into their hearts and lives. The gift has already been given. All that remains is to open it. Receiving God's gift doesn't mean having everything figured out. It means opening your heart to the one who's been pursuing you all along. It means saying, Lord, I don't deserve this kind of love, but I'll take it because I need it. That's the genesis of faith, not with perfection, but with surrender. It's the gift that we're meant to share. God didn't give his son so that we could keep the gift to ourselves. I mean, look at the shepherds. They didn't keep quiet after they met Jesus, and the wise men didn't hide their joy. Everyone who truly encountered him wanted others to know and experience him. Christmas is a perfect time to pass the gift along, not necessarily by preaching a sermon, but by living a story. When we forgive, when we serve, when we show kindness to someone who doesn't expect it, that's how people see the gift of Christ in and through us. It's amazing how simple gestures open hearts. A phone call to someone alone, a meal shared, a word of encouragement, a moment of genuine listening. Each one is a way of saying, I've received something too good to keep to myself. But what about when gifts don't feel like gifts? Sometimes, though, life doesn't feel much like Christmas. The wrapping paper of our plans rips to shreds. The boxes of our dreams come up empty. We wonder what happened to the joy and peace everyone talks about. That's when we remember, even when life doesn't give us what we hoped for, that God still gives us himself. The manger reminds us that God doesn't wait for perfect circumstances to show up. He enters the mess, the noise, the ordinary, the chaos, and turns it into something sacred. A little baby in Bethlehem is more than a moment in history. It's the heart of a creator who refuses to give up on his creation. And you know something? That gift is still waiting. As this Christmas approaches, perhaps you're still searching for meaning, peace, or a sense of belonging. The truth is, what your heart is really looking for isn't found in anything you could purchase. It's found in someone who already bought you with his own life's blood. That's the gift of Christmas. God so loved the world that he gave. And that gift is still available, still free, still waiting for anyone who will open it. As Celebration Day approaches, take time to thank God for his indescribable gift, and then look for a way to give as he gave. Folks, the truest gifts aren't wrapped in paper. They're wrapped in love. This is Dr. Vic Hollyfriend in his grace. If you have any comments or questions, you can address them to me at vixfridayfocus@gmail.com. That's vixfridayfocus@gmail.com. God bless you. Have a tremendous week and a very, very Merry Christmas.